Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 276 on March 2nd, 2022. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Michael Aston.
Howdy, y'all.
And Jimmy Trammell.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Can't complain.
Wednesday.
We're almost through this thing called winter. Hopefully by the time summer comes around, we'll have no more snow. So
it is the Ides of March.
Yeah, we got about 2 months left of winter, and then hopefully things will turn around. What about you guys? You're finally out of hurricane season, right, Jimmy? That's typically through the winter.
No, that's typically during the summer. Right?
Oh, okay. So, I was thinking it was fall.
It doesn't start until like about, it officially begins, I think, right about the 1st of June.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
right? And then
later.
And then it goes until until Halloween.
All right.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah.
But the height of the season is usually like mid-August to end of September.
Well, that's the point where in Florida you want to be inside anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, bring it on. Same thing here with the blizzards. You get the crazy blizzards, but I don't want to be outside anyway. So whatever.
It's the same, like in the northern parts of the country, right? There's usually about 3 months or so during the year that you don't want to go outside too much. Same with us. It's just in the summertime.
Yep. And then the rest is just alligator season.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we get started?
Nope.
No, very talkative tonight. All right. Hey, let's get on over to our first story. You may have heard me talk about previously that Sony, the owner of Funamation, provider of one of the biggest providers of dubbed anime in the U.S., they completed a deal to purchase their rival Crunchyroll, which is the biggest provider of subbed anime in the U.S. And I had speculated that hopefully that this was going to be a good thing because, I've had mild complaints about Funimation's app, but overall I like the Funimation service. I've been a subscriber for years. Well, they finally announced yesterday that they're phasing out the Funimation brand and moving everything into Crunchyroll to make a anime super service. This was actually going to be my rant when I saw this yesterday, but then I saw the story. So for those of you that aren't familiar, there's this thing called anime, which is animated entertainment that comes out of Japan. And people all over the world like it. And it's more popular now than it's ever been, especially with technology allowing you to do simulcasts, doing fast turnarounds on dubs and subs. So we're stuff that we used to have to wait 3 years to get, where now these two services were providing like a week later. So think like the Hulu model. It airs in Japan and then a week later it airs here. But yes, they're moving everything into the Crunchyroll app. which I find kind of frustrating. The nice thing is, if you are a current subscriber to Funimation, they will be providing everybody with a 60-day free when you sign up for your new account and subscription on Crunchyroll. It is more expensive. Funimation had basically one plan, which was $5.99 a month. One of the reasons I liked them. Crunchyroll has 3 plans starting at $7.99. And looking at the plans, it looks like I'm going to be paying much more than that, which I am not happy about. But the other downside, they did announce that, yes, you can't migrate your account. At this point, you will have to create a new account. Your watch list, your watch history, all your ratings and everything are lost for now, which I think is the biggest hurt for people that have watched a lot of anime over on the Funimation service over the years. They say eventually, but who knows what that means. But yeah, so
Eventually means they don't want to do it right now. And if there's not enough people complaining and canceling, they won't do it ever.
yeah. They're not shutting down Funimation just yet. So those people that don't want to take advantage of the 60-day free offer can stay on Funimation, but the problem is new shows will only be coming to Crunchyroll. The Funimation will continue with new episodes and seasons of shows that are already on Funimation, that are already licensed by Funimation. But anything new that isn't already on there will only be on Crunchyroll. And people keep saying, well, Crunchyroll's great because you can watch free. They do have a free tier. I tried it yesterday. I haven't tried Crunchyroll in years. And they have 5 ad breaks. And each of those 5 ad breaks has 5 commercials. Mm-hmm. This is for a 20-minute episode.
A commercial for every minute, right?
Literally. I made it through the first ad break and I hit the second ad break, and when I hit pause, I saw the yellowed out things and I was like, oh, hell no. So I bailed on that fast. Anybody that is currently watching Crunchyroll free, man, you got to be a glutton for punishment. They really push, or they're really selling the whole. Wouldn't you just rather pay $8?
Yeah.
How much is your time worth?
It's worth $8.
So, Clyde, Funimation, is that a U.S. market only?
Well, no, they do serve they serve the whole world, but they are a American company. They're based out of Texas, Houston, I believe.
I see. So they do offer service globally.
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
And multiple languages in the dubs. So, yep. All right. What do we got next?
All right. So the Hollywood Reporter, they are reporting HBO Max officially gets live sports. So they've done a deal with the U.S. soccer organization, both women's and men's. And starting next year in 2023, they are going to start streaming live soccer games on HBO Max. So I think this is good. I think that was one of the missing pieces that Warner Media was wanting to get into. And I think it's a good thing, especially since I'm going to be a future stockholder of the new company here whenever that spins off from AT&T.
As a future stockholder, how do you feel about the $200 million price tag? That seems a little.
Yeah, but I think for 200 million, I think they'll get a lot of viewers for that 200 million. I think that's a pretty good investment.
Okay, it's also
especially for soccer, right? Because I mean, it's it didn't used to be that big of a, didn't have that much of a viewership here in this country, except for maybe the last, I'd say, 30 years or so. It's really come around, right?
Yeah,
and it's good. It's good new, right? So I think this is going to give them what they need. It'll get them some viewers, and 200 million. I mean, I mean, think about it. What if it was professional basketball or football or something like that? They would have paid a lot more than 200 million, I would say.
Yeah. I was gonna say I would think that they could have got by with a smaller number, considering the number of eyes that this could potentially bring to U.S. soccer. U.S. soccer stands to gain a lot more than Warner. But also worth noting that it's not just HBO Max. This is also TNT and TBS.
The other Warner products.
Yeah, so
not just HBO Max.
Yeah,
that's right.
So if you're still one of those people that has cable, you don't have to subscribe to HBO Max to get it. Congratulations. All right.
So we've talked a little bit about Amazon Luna in the past, and it's, if you're a Prime member and you've kind of been in their ecosystem, you've probably had invitations to join Luna in its limited beta, but it is officially launching. It will be open to everyone here very soon.
It said today.
Today.
So that was yesterday.
Yep, yesterday. Sorry. So yesterday started access, and they've also added 3 new channels to the Twitch or to the Prime Video to coincide with this, including a gaming channel which has integrated streaming for gamers using Amazon Luna. So it's a pretty interesting introduction to the new streaming service that's going to beat out Twitch this year. What do you think?
So this is literally the mirror image of Stadia, because Stadia is owned by Google and only streams to YouTube. This is owned by Amazon and only streams to Twitch, which we talked about like last week or the week before they added the Twitch integration. I think this is going to have the same criticism. You're going to see the same criticisms with this platform as you do with Stadia, in the fact that what games do they offer? And that's really going to be the thing. I haven't really played it much, or I haven't really looked into playing on Luna, so I don't know what their catalog looks like.
Yeah. Well, so the way that their catalog works is you've got a few different selections of games that will rotate on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So they have
Stadia model
Prime games, which are going to be things like Devil May Cry 5, Flashback, System Redux. And then they'll also have like a retro channel that's got like Castlevania Anniversary Collection, Street Fighter 2, Metal Slug 3, and then more a kind of family type games like Jackbox Games channel. And those will just kind of rotate what titles you have in each of those.
I wonder what they're going to do with right now, or up to this point, they've had the Amazon Games launcher where I've got a lot of SNK Neo Geo games in there because I got them as Twitch rewards. And I'm curious if they're going to shut that down and just roll it into Luna. The difference is the Amazon Games thing, they're actually installed on your PC. You're not playing them in the cloud. But I'm curious. I haven't seen anything whether or not they're going to be shutting that down.
Yeah, so their big difference versus something like Stadia is that with Stadia, you can get like a pro membership that has some games included, or you can buy games and then have access to that specific game forever and it won't go away. Luna is going to be purely subscription based. So you won't be able to go out and say, hey, I like Ghost Recon, I'll buy Ghost Recon. You will subscribe to Ubisoft instead, and that will give you access to their games. And so I will have to, for example, I do like Ghost Recon and that kind of game. So anytime I want to be able to play those, I'd be paying that $18 a month for the Ubisoft channel in Amazon Luna.
Yeah. If you don't have the ability to buy the game, or, with Stadia, you can claim a game each month with your pro membership, and that's yours to keep. Yeah, if you don't have that option, then it's the whole reason I steered clear of the Game Pass model on Xbox and PlayStation, up to this point is, I don't want to have to shell out. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for several years. I play it for a month and then put it down, and then, 6 months later, play it for a day. I don't want to have to pay $18 every single time I want to play it. Especially since I think I bought that for like $20.
Right.
Yeah.
I completely agree. It's the advantage is the real advantage is the ability to just kind of try different games and have kind of a larger access to stuff. You don't have to spend $50 or $60 to get access to what was it, Cyberpunk 2077, and then realize that you don't enjoy playing it at all.
Was that a dig at me?
No, that's just a dig in general.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, I mean, I remembered that, but a lot of people felt that same way about that game, and so that's an advantage to the subscription-based model. It allows that try, but I mean, I really like Steam. I've built up a very extensive library of games on Steam, and I enjoy being able to go in there and, like you said, just say, hey, I want to try this again, and install, whatever game you stopped playing 3 years ago and give it a try for a couple of days.
See, and that's the thing I like about Stadia. Steam has kind of the same problem as Luna, but in the opposite direction. You buy a game and find out you don't like it. You can't give it away. You can't do anything with it. You're just stuck. I've got a huge Steam library of stuff that I will never play that I thought I was going to love. Whereas Stadia, if you got the Pro Pass, you can try out stuff and then you decide, hey, I really like this game. You can buy it.
Yeah.
And they a lot of times, even if you're not a subscriber, they do have, a lot of the games have active demos where you can play through a couple levels and determine. And I mean, Stadia is not perfect. There's some things about the UI and whatnot that I absolutely hate, but they all offer something different.
for the gamer like myself, you know, you're probably running on an SSD now, so you don't have unlimited storage space. You can't have 170 plus or 100 plus gig games on your computer. So
I had a 200, was it 200 gigs for Microsoft Flight Simulator when it came out
right.
2 years ago. Yeah.
So there's that, and if you have to uninstall a game, then if you want to try it out again with Steam, you got to re-download it.
Yes, exactly.
That means that, you know, you better want to play it tomorrow, not today. And, you know, at least if you're like me and you don't have gigabit Ethernet or internet at your house. So
it's like, you don't have gigabit Ethernet?
Yes.
Where are you living?
Sorry, we have plain old phones.
You're running a Cisco 800 router.
I'm running a BBS
10 base
in the other room, and we all
token ring.
Anyways, yes, I don't have gigabit internet, and so it takes me a few hours at least to download a big game.
Yeah.
So that's another big advantage, you know, going for something like Stadia or Luna, because then you can go back and you can instantly play it. Again, the disadvantage to Luna is you'll have to pay forever because you never own it.
Yeah. So I don't think any of these services has gotten the model 100% right yet. But I do think that as the competitors come up, Stadia becomes more and more appealing.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. The model for Stadia seems to be the best so far.
You know, especially when you look back at all the criticism initially, it's like all the competitors are there to prove the critics wrong. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this does.
All right.
Keeping with the gaming theme, The Verge has an article, and they're talking about Netflix acquires another developer to build world-class gaming. So they have made an offer to buy Next Games. So that's in the works now, and the vice president of head of gaming there at Netflix, I'll read his quote here. While we're just getting started in games, I am confident that together with Next Games, I almost want to say Netflix Games, Next Games, we will be able to build a world-class portfolio, right? So I don't know, you know, when I read through the article here, and I think I kind of see what they're doing, or at least part of what they want to do. You know, they have a couple of games for their hit shows, Stranger Things, right? So the game, that's two of the games that they have out already. And my guess is they want to bring in another developer here to help maybe continue that theme. You know, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe this could work, maybe, but you know, I mean, what's that latest show they just came out with? Don't Look Up, right? You know, could they come out with a hit game for a title like that? I don't know, maybe. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
I think that they desperately need another game company, because recently I finally got around to trying the existing Netflix games that they were talking about. While I do appreciate that the games are ad-free, which is hard to find on mobile nowadays, they all feel like they were just slapped together, repurposed existing games that were just kind of reskinned to get something out there. Think Atari in the end, when they were just kind of throwing stuff together to get something out there. Yeah, I'm curious to see.
I'm dubious in general, and I don't remember if I mentioned this the last time we talked about the Netflix gaming, but like the idea of them getting into gaming in general makes me question. I mean, I don't see the logical connection. A lot of games are based off of you know, wow, my brain is not all the way there tonight. Sorry. It's the properties that you are making the shows out of. Those are not necessarily going to make a lot of sense for games. A lot of them are that way, but usually those are the worst games. The games that turn out to not succeed, Harry Potter's Wizarding World, it was a shoo-in for success because Pokemon was wildly successful and it was the same basic game, but it was a total failure. This is, I mean, it's time and again that the games that are based off of movie and video properties don't do well. So it doesn't, to me, make a lot of sense for Netflix to even be getting into this. But, you know, there is a lot of content that they're producing, and some of those might make some good games.
Well,
mobile games
they're trying to come up with ways to keep people subscribed. Because, you know, the only difference between these games and any other games that are installed on a mobile device is the fact that you have to have an active subscription to Netflix to be able to activate the game. But, you know, perfect example of what I was talking about. There's a game, it's called Hoops. Hoops was a cartoon about a basketball coach, which is voiced by Jake Johnson. It's very funny. I went to play the game. Has absolutely nothing to do with the show other than there's a basketball and a hoop, and you have to figure out by tapping the ball how to get it into the hoop. What does that have to do with the Netflix show Hoops? Nothing. But it's Hoops, and it's got the character and on the splash page. It's if they're gonna make gaming work, they desperately need good content, not the stuff they currently have.
Yeah. Plus, too, you know, I think we talked about it too. What was it, a couple of months back, whenever it happened? You know, they came out with that earnings report where, you know, subscriber growth had stalled, right, and they're kind of plateauing out now. So maybe they're trying to get into games here to keep the subscribers,
exactly,
which is what you were saying, Clark.
They got to do whatever they can to keep from hemorrhaging, especially as they continue to raise prices. Right.
Because I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's debatable. You know, okay, should they invest that money, you know, into making more, you know, TV or movie content, you know, or should they go out and buy a developer, right? I don't know. I guess you could debate that, right? But you know, I guess time will tell if this was the right move or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So talking about interesting, we all know that Facebook has changed their name to Meta. They're trying to kind of rebrand themselves, the organization as a whole, away from the brand that is Facebook and the website. And in that vein, they have updated the logo that you will see when starting up your Oculus headsets to show the Meta logo, that kind of figure eight type thing. And yeah, so as of the most recent release for the operating system, your Oculus Rift glasses headset will show the new Meta logo as you start it up. Obviously, this is moving towards their concept of the metaverse being a place that they are building.
So let me ask you, since you're the only one here that has an Oculus headset, how will it make you feel the first time you see that Meta loading screen pop up instead of the Oculus?
First, I won't care.
Okay.
'Cause probably
I ask because some
Second of
people will
all,
be.
you're making an assumption that I'll actually reconnect my.
Well, you
headset.
spent money on it. You may as well.
Yeah.
At some
I mean,
point, you're going to want to fly a TIE fighter again.
Yeah.
Beat some sabers.
I will probably. I mean, I guess for me, it's the frustration of the headset is so significant, of the cables and stuff. It's so significant that it's just a total barrier. Yeah, I probably will at some point, but it will probably not be this week or this month.
Are you going to get the wireless kit? Because they have that wireless kit to connect it to your PC.
I may do something like that.
Yeah.
I've also contemplated just getting the Quest. No, Quest, the Go, Oculus Quest. Go,
I don't know.
the portable one.
Because you have a Quest, right? Don't you?
No, I have the Oculus Rift.
Oh, the Rift. You got the Rift. Okay, that's right.
So I don't know if that will get this update. It's not listed anywhere in this particular article that it will or won't. But, you know, I assume that at some point they will update it because there's enough similarity, but maybe not. I mean, the games are the same. You don't have to build a different game. So
no.
It seems like the operating system must be pretty similar. So we'll see.
Yeah, the thing I find weird about the whole Meta thing is so Facebook is still Facebook. Meta is the parent, is now like the umbrella, the parent corporation that Facebook falls under.
Yeah.
But they also changed Oculus to Meta. So is Facebook under what used to be Oculus, or is it just another level of Meta?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the thing that confuses me about this whole rebrand. Because if they had just said, "Hey, our new parent company is Meta," sure. I mean, Google falls under Alphabet, right, or whatever that is. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, that's just the thing that confuses me, and I think confuses most people.
Yeah. It's I mean, they're definitely the Quest. When you go to the Oculus.com, it shows the Quest as the Meta Quest with the logo there. I mean, they're obviously, I think, like I said before, they've got the brand that they're wanting everybody to view what they do as a step towards the metaverse and moving in that direction. Facebook, they want people to view as being just a small part of what the company does.
Yeah.
And they don't want it to be
the company.
The company is, right? Up until now, when everybody thinks of Facebook, they think of the website, facebook.com, and that social media site, and not the business that owns several other things and other brands that have previously been effectively unrelated to the company. A lot of people don't even realize that some of these brands are Facebook.
Like Instagram.
Like Instagram, exactly. People don't think of Instagram as Facebook. If you tell the kids, something about
that
Facebook,
reminds me.
Talk about their grandparents, that's what grandma uses or something.
Yeah. But
in reality, they're using Facebook too. They're just using the Instagram app.
I heard someone the other day. I was at a restaurant and I heard someone in the booth near me. This girl said, she said, "Ew, I would never use Facebook. I'm only on Instagram." And I laughed. I spit water all over the table. And I was laughing so hard just because it's like you're on Facebook. It's just a different name, different skin. It's like saying I won't use a cell phone. I've got this other thing that's clearly just another name for a cell phone. But
I wouldn't
whatever.
use a cell phone, but I've got my iPhone.
Yeah.
I use iPhone. Come on.
Telephones are so 20th century. I've got my iPhone. Well, iPhone is a telephone.
Right. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. So what's going on with Atari?
All right. So Android Police, they have an article about the Atari. Atari is bringing out an original game to Android. This game is called Combinera.
Combinera. Is that when you get kombucha at Panera? They call it a Combinera.
If you go to the article, right? I mean, you can kind of see the game. I don't get what the object of this game would be, but I guess maybe it's kind of in the spirit of Pong a little bit because there's a ball that kind of goes across.
It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle game.
It's a puzzle game. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
And a lot more action, it seems like, than the old Pong, right?
But it's got kind of that Atari aesthetic.
Yes, it does.
Which is actually kind of popular right now.
Mm-hmm. That kind of nostalgic look to it, kind of like Pong, right?
Yeah.
Except it's got color. Right?
I know there's been a few times over the last 15 years where I'll see the Atari logo on something and you go, wait, they're making games again? But yeah.
Yeah, Combinera.
Combinera, yeah. I don't know. We'll have to check this out. It's available on Steam.
Yep. Comes out on April.
It's going to be available on the PS5.
Comes out on April 7th. Android, iOS, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And games.
Most importantly, the Atari VCS, which was the console that they finally put out like a year ago, and it didn't really, I don't think it did well. And it's super expensive. And all it played was like old Atari games. But hey, finally a new game for the Atari VCS. Awesome.
All right. Well, Sonos has taken another step in the direction of a voiceless world. We talked a while back now about the new Sonos speaker that didn't have a mic in it. And this is apparently becoming a trend with them. They have released an update for their portable Roam speaker that is micless. Saves you $20, and Amazon, Google, or Apple are not listening into everything you say while you're near your speakers.
And I'll reiterate my point when we talked about the SL. I think it was the SL series.
Yep. Exactly.
We don't want, if someone's buying a Sonos, they're buying a Sonos for the Sonos technology. They're not buying it to be a, talk to device. That's why they get Google Homes for $25. Who's going to buy a Sonos version of that for like $500 or whatever that SL cost? Yeah. Just Sonos, do your Sonos thing. And I think they're finally realizing that. It was just like, what's the point?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was just acknowledging and agreeing with that. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Yeah, just be Sonos. Don't try to be everybody else.
Yeah, especially if it's a device that's portable. Why would you
Yeah.
want a microphone on a device that you're taking to the park?
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense to offer a micless feature. I think that you're right. Most people that want the quality speakers. So I have thought many times about picking up a couple of Sonos One speakers because we have Echoes in every room, but only one of our, well, I guess two of our Echo devices are the full Echo instead of like the Echo Dot or something. And those two sound pretty decent, but all of the rest of them sound like garbage. So if I want to have like quality audio in my office, for example, my Echo Dot isn't going to do that for me. So having speakers like that I could play through, but I have the Echo Dots already in place. So really, I just need something to connect to that. The Echo Dots have an aux out. The Sonos Ones have an aux in. So you can play out from your Dot through your speaker.
Isn't there Sonos integration into the Amazon Echoes? So as long as it's on your network, you could just play to that speaker anyway. You don't need an aux in.
Right. I was going to say, I don't know about that for sure, but I think that you can.
Because I know you can with the Apple version, and I believe you can with the Google version. I'm pretty sure that it's built.
It would make sense that you could. My assumption is you can, but I don't know for sure. I do know that like I've hooked up external speakers to my Amazon Echo Dot, like in my office, because I have like computer speakers that I use that make good sound. I usually connect those directly. And so I know I can do that. My assumption is that it would work via the Bluetooth or the wireless to connect. But don't know.
It says you can set up an Amazon device to control Sonos.
There you go.
So should theoretically.
Makes more sense to buy a $20 add-on than to buy or a $50 add-on than to buy really expensive speakers that have it built in and you not need it.
Yeah. I mean, and let's see. This was what, 159 now? So we talked about the Arc SL previously, which is $850. Yeah. There's no way in hell I was getting that. This is like $150-ish for the Roam. Yeah, $160 now with the price drop.
Yeah.
Still, but I think that's in a better direction for mass adoption.
Yeah. Still very expensive for a mobile speaker.
Yeah. My sound bar that I've got here has a battery in it, and I can take it anywhere, and it cost me $35, and it's creative. It sounds great.
Well, so my thing is this, like, I can get spending $800 on a really high-end soundbar speaker for your home theater.
Sure.
In your house where you are listening in a fairly controlled environment.
Yep.
The fidelity and audio quality and acoustics of outdoors aren't going to be good no matter what speaker you have. It's not going to sound great. So it just doesn't make as much sense.
This $35 one does sound pretty good out on the deck.
Yeah.
So I'll stick with that.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well. Just saying. still a whole lot for a speaker to take to the beach.
Yep. All righty.
All right. So Engadget. So they're reporting that Roku drops Russia's RT channel worldwide. So Roku is just following suit with a lot of other tech companies that also have dropped support for this. This is in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Apple, Google, Meta, others too have followed suit, and probably others who might carry that channel also should be following suit soon.
Yeah. I've mentioned before that I find RTs like the only place you can actually go to find out, or is the one place you can go to actually find out what's going on in the U.S. when they're doing all the distraction news to divert everybody. So it's a bummer, but
You got DW. You can
Yeah.
go to that channel. You can also go to Sky News, right? There's other sources that'll give you the same.
yeah, they give you some. Yeah. But I understand this move.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting running the risk of going so much into politics, but it's interesting to me in this day where the influence that these companies have, that large technology companies and media companies have, and the capabilities that they have to influence populace. We'll see what kind of impact it has, but it is interesting to see a mobilization of the public as opposed to the government influencing these types of things. So,
Now, if only they would also crack down on the other RTs, retweets.
yeah. Well, anyways, it's just interesting. We'll see how the impact of these are. I think I read somewhere that some of the adult entertainment was stopping their was not sending accepting IPs from Russia.
Ooh. Oh no! You just made a whole bunch of a huge percentage of Russia's population homeless.
Well,
soon to be homeless.
So, Michael, you're saying that that's one sanction that should end the war, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying that's a sanction that a company has imposed of their own. Again, a technology or media related company using their access to their system as an attempt to influence.
Yeah, if only there was a way to change what your IP appears to be.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know what the popularity.
I swear, I'm in Portland, Oregon, comrade.
Well, but
that's assuming that the VPN services are also viable in Russia.
Well,
yeah.
you can roll your own.
You could,
and
you could.
Something in the country. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, certainly you could. Right. But
you're assuming that the VPNs and other providers are also allowing access from inside the country.
Well, what I'm saying is there are, I guarantee there are VPNs that are in country operating.
Right.
And that have ways already. So
for sophisticated people, there are unquestionably going to be ways to get online and get out.
And
what percentage of the population is that capable?
But you got to remember, for that demographic that we were just talking about, They may not have the technological know-how to do it, but I'm pretty sure they have desperate fans that do. Oh, you'll give me a personal show if I help you set this up? Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, it's just interesting. I don't know what'll happen with it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Speaking of entertainment, Google Stadia now works with the Steam Deck, but
Sort of.
you need an update for the gamepad first. So
Yeah, I don't think that it now works. I think that someone just found that it will run. It wasn't intended to. Because I believe because the Steam Deck has a browser in it, right? Yeah, because it says if you install a Chrome browser or any Chromium browser on it, then Stadia will work.
No, you just have to use the Steam Deck's browser. It works straight up on the Steam Deck's browser.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything.
Oh no. I was saying if you install Chrome or a Chromium browser, you can even fire up a cloud gaming service through the game. Yeah, but that's on pretty much anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, it's interesting. I like it. Get a little bit of state going up on.
Kind of hard to play without the controls, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's going to have to find a workaround for that because I don't think either Google or Valve is jumping at the opportunity to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, you can work around it by using the touchpads, apparently, but obviously you're going to want to use the sticks, the joysticks on there instead of the touchpads.
Do the buttons work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's
buttons,
just the analog sticks.
It's just the analog.
Oh, I thought it was like the D-pad and the buttons as well. Okay.
Well, the D-pad is, I don't know. I didn't get clarity on the D-pad specifically, but my understanding was that it was all of the only way to control movement was on the touchpads.
Okay.
I guess that would probably depend on the game. Maybe you might be able to use the D-pad on some games.
All right. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So next story here. So Plex Arcade is going to be discontinued next month. So
wait, what is this thing?
Plex Arcade. So in the article, right? And I think that was the sentiment with a lot of people who use Plex, Clyde. In the article, and I think probably this is the operative two sentences in the whole article here. It says many users weren't even aware the feature was available to them. Many others forgot about the announcement and continued with it.
Here's the thing. I am pretty confident we never even talked about this on our show.
I don't remember talking about it.
When I saw this, I saw the article that it was going to be discontinued. I went, wait, what is it? Yeah. And then I my next question was, so is this something they launched like 5 years ago? No, they launched it last year.
1 year ago. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess, they did this as like an add-on subscription. So apparently they were charging like $3 a month for it.
And a lot of people say it barely worked. The people that did know about it weren't happy.
Yeah.
So.
And just, it seems to me like they just try to shoehorn it in.
Yeah, it seems like they should have done like Peloton and Bungie and licensed the Steam or the Stadia technology for their. But yeah, I mean, but also anybody who's run a Plex server knows that they can be kind of finicky. So I'm wondering if the problems they had were due to hardware on, how people were running their server, or if it was just purely a cloud component that they hadn't quite figured out. But rest in peace, we hardly knew ye.
Yeah.
Yeah, continuing the gaming news, and speaking of Microsoft Flight Sim that you were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You could play Microsoft Flight Sim now if you have an Xbox One, which, you talked a little bit about how big it was, 200 gigs. It's, I will say, first of all, your Xbox One is not going to be able to install it, but it's second of all, your Xbox One is not going to be able to run it. It was actually quite a while before you could play it on the Xbox Series X, because they had to do a bunch of enhancements before they felt like they could release it there, as opposed to the PC. But they've made upgrades in the Xbox cloud gaming data centers that are now allowing Xbox cloud gaming to run Microsoft Flight Simulator, and you can do it on your Xbox One. And now, I guess if you're a Microsoft Flight Sim fan and didn't have a high-end PC or one of the new generations of Xboxes, you can now play it on your old one.
See, this is one of the games that I really want a VR headset for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, someday I will be able to afford a video card that will support VR.
Yeah. Well, you just gotta. Well.
I'm not
right
spending
now,
thousands of
you're gonna have
dollars
to sell your car and mortgage your house if you want to do that, and probably cause a few accidents to the people waiting in line ahead of you. It's pretty difficult to get a hold of quality gaming cards right now.
I mean, that's the whole reason I didn't get the HP Reverb 2 when it came out last year.
Yeah.
That I really wanted. If this was coming to the PS5, then actually, we talk about that the Xbox Game Pass was accessible? No, I don't remember.
You might be able to do it through the browser.
Yeah, there was something, because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you happen to have an Xbox 5, you might try it. But I mean, the thing is that this can run on your crappy PC now because it's in the cloud, right? So if you're willing to pay for Microsoft's Xbox Cloud Gaming, then you have the ability to run it.
Well, that's how I played it through the Game Pass previously, so I never owned it.
Okay.
Because I was in the beta of the Game Pass where it was like $5 a month or something like that. Yeah. And I could justify it, and I played this game a lot. And then when they raised the price to normal prices, I said, no, thank you. Mm-hmm. I will never forget the day it launched, the 100 gig download finished. I said, sweet, I'm going to play. I fired it up and it said an update is available. Okay, no big deal. Another 120 gigs. Like, screw you. It was totally worth it once it downloaded.
You want to have the high definition apps.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
That's I mean, I think it's interesting though. It is one of the more demanding games, being able to play it on somebody else's system. Like that's what I've always said is appealing to me for the cloud gaming thing is it saves you the cost of having to upgrade your PC every year or two to keep it capable of running the top end games.
So is it ironic that Microsoft Flight Simulator wasn't available in the cloud?
I mean, I don't know. Is that really irony?
I don't know.
Perhaps.
That's hence my question. Is it? All right. Hey, you know it's not ironic. Might be a little bit confusing, but it's not ironic that there are people that support us month to month via their blind support. I don't know. There's people that give us money and allow us to do this thing over on patreon.com/the VOD Squad. By the way, those are our favorite people. They're the people that we actually hear when they yell. That when they threaten to take their $2 and go home, it actually gets us motivated to say, "Oh, hold on, what do we got to do? What do you need? What do we need to keep that $2?" But yeah, if you find some sort of value in this show, you've got a blind devotion to what we do here every week, become a patron. There's benefits. And if there aren't quite the benefits you want, let us know. We could probably work something out. Patreon.com/the VOD Squad. All right. Rants and raves.
Sure.
All right. Rants, raves. I've had a few. What do you guys got for me this week?
Oh man, I was going to go last just because I don't really have anything.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't have anything to rant or rave about. Started my new job a week and a half ago. It's going well, so but not lots of time to watch anything on the tubes. So
Okay. Jimmy, what you got?
yeah. So I did finish season 4 of Yellowstone. So really, me and my wife did really like that. A good show. Can't wait for season 5, assuming there will be one.
There better be. They left a lot of things open.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there will be. But there's this new show on Apple TV Plus called Suspicion, British show. I think there's only 5 episodes out right now, and I just, as a matter of fact, I watched the 5th episode earlier tonight. It's a pretty good one, you know, kind of suspenseful, kind of keeps you guessing a little bit of what's going on. Not exactly like the old, and maybe one of the reasons why I kind of like it, right? Not exactly like the old TV show 24, but kind of got that element to it, right? Where it's got, you know, you got about the 5 or 6 stories, you know, kind of going on at the same time, you know, and it's with, you know, different people, you know, in the show. So yeah, really liking that one. I won't say it's, you know, the greatest show you ever seen or anything like that, right? Nothing seems to be, you know, the greatest show ever these days, but entertaining, right? It's I like it, and yeah, it's keeping me coming back for more. That's for sure. So Suspicion on Apple TV Plus.
So let me ask you about the Yellowstone. Are you gonna watch 1883?
Yes, my wife wants to watch that, so that's on our list to watch next. We haven't started it yet, but yeah, that'll be the next thing.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a long time before I get to watch it, because YouTube TV recorded like the first episode, or it recorded the second episode, but it never picked up the first episode, which was the problem I had with Yellowstone, and it took me years before I could finally watch it. But yeah, I don't know. still not enough for me to sign up for Paramount because
Yeah, I sign up for Paramount anyway because
yeah,
I like Star Trek.
yeah,
And,
exactly.
and Survivor keeps me there as well.
Yeah,
Right?
Paramount just doesn't have the stuff, really anything that I'm desperate to watch.
I mean, yeah, if you're looking for justification for the subscription, I mean, I do the year. I just pay it once a year. You get this a little less if you do it that way. I know that I want to watch the Star Trek stuff, and there are some movies. They do have some original content on there. Pretty good, I would say. Some of the original content, not outstanding, but pretty good.
Yeah.
So if you've got, and there's this. I've recently started getting into the FBI shows that they have. I think there's about 4 different flavors of the FBI shows.
Quantico.
So
was Quantico one of them?
Well, they all. One is just simply FBI. Then there's then there's an FBI International.
Oh,
right?
then I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. This is well, I mean, it's a show about the FBI, right? So it's one of those kind of things. Kind of,
okay.
I would say kind of along the line of like Law and Order, except, it's a different agency. It's the FBI instead, right?
Okay.
So those shows are pretty good on Paramount Plus.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, there's stuff out there that, makes it worth it. I mean, if you like Star Trek, and if there's another show that you might like say either The Amazing Race or Survivor like me, right? Something like that. Then I say it's worth it because there are some original content there that you can watch, and that's pretty good, and it kind of makes it worth the price.
All right.
But if you like it and want to stick with it, I would recommend doing the annual subscription. You save a little money that way.
All right. Awesome. So if you remember a few weeks back, we were discussing, would Disney have any reason to keep Hulu around after NBC leaves? You remember that conversation?
Yes.
I think I found the case that proves my point that they need Hulu. There is a new show called Pam and Tommy. I don't know if any of you have watched it.
I saw the advertisement for it.
I kind of didn't want, I had no interest in this show. But one way or another, I ended up watching the first episode and realized, hey, this is actually okay. But it is the perfect case to prove why Disney needs Hulu. This show has a lot of nudity, and I mean a lot. It's glorious. It's a Hulu original, which means if they got rid of Hulu, that would be going over to Disney Plus. And that ain't happening. I will say Seth Rogen, the people that are playing the roles are actually good and believable. Seth Rogen's great, which you don't hear me say very often. I'm actually kind of enjoying this show. I just watched this week's episode right before we started this. They're coming out week over week, but there's like 7 episodes to burn through. There's a lot less nudity in the later episodes, but yeah, that first couple episodes, whoa, it's glorious and a little disturbing. But yeah, it's Pam and Tommy, and I assume everybody knows what the point of that is.
Well, I mean, yeah. The theme alone would tell you that there has to be nudity, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole plot.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about the video.
For those who are not aware, it's Pamela Anderson. At that point, now you know enough.
Did I tell you guys about when I met Pamela Anderson?
No.
We'll talk about it in the post show. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. And yes, there is a post show. You know, you can join us live on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Central here on YouTube, and then stick around afterwards and we talk about other stuff that doesn't make it into the podcast. And if you're saying, wait, podcast? Yes, there is a podcast. It's an audio version. It's available everywhere the podcasts are available. May not be put out in the most timeliest of manners, but if you want it faster, become a patron. You know, all it takes is $1 and you get your custom RSS feed that comes out almost immediately after we end this show. But to find out my meeting Pam Anderson story, sorry, you missed out. You got to be here live. And on that note, thanks everybody. We will catch you all next week. Bye.
The Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.